Are you a procrastinator? Are you scrolling through YouTube trying to find videos on how to stop procrastinating? Are you easily distracted? Well, all of those things were me. In this video, I will tell you how I stopped procrastinating and how I'm able to study 10 hours a day now without being distracted. If you're new to my channel, my name is Samira. I'm a 6th year Dutch medical student and I make videos about my life as a medical student, but I also make videos about productivity. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe as well for more productivity videos. First of all, you need to understand why you procrastinate. Did you know that procrastinate came from the Latin word procrastinare, which means to put off until tomorrow? Isn't it ironic that we procrastinate to avoid negative feelings that comes with doing a certain task like studying, but afterwards we feel much worse. So why do we do it? Procrastination is the result of present bias. Present bias is the tendency to rather settle for a smaller present reward than to wait for a bigger future reward.
Here's the deal. Marshmallow for you. You can either wait, and I'll give you another one if you wait, or you can eat it now.
I think the most important thing that you have to understand about procrastination is that it's about emotions. For example, for me, every time that I had to write an essay, I was extremely anxious. I don't know why, but I knew that I procrastinated because I wanted to escape, and that was the reason that I procrastinated. However, of course, it got worse. I got anxious because I didn't finish my essay. So you have to remember, it's not about productivity, it's about the emotions you have with a certain task that makes you to procrastinate. So how do we avoid procrastination? The solution isn't as simple as just downloading a time management app on your phone and then all your problems will go away. It has to do with your emotions. You have to deal with the emotions that you're having when you're procrastinating. First of all, don't be harsh on yourself when you procrastinate. A lot of people procrastinate, so don't be ashamed of it, but you have to find a way to deal with it. It's extremely hard to break a habit. Your brain is always trying to find a bigger, better offer. So instead of trying to reward ourselves with avoidance, we have to find another way to reward ourselves. For us human beings, it's really hard to look at long-term rewards. For example, having a good grade. Of course, we all want to have a good grade. It's extremely hard while you're studying or while you're doing that essay to remind yourself that you're all doing this for a good grade. So we have to look at short-term rewards. For example, when you're making a study schedule, always schedule something fun at the end of the day. For example, doing something fun with your friends. Of course, we stay on quarantine. Maybe you can do something else. For example, watching that movie that you wanted to watch. So it's extremely important to plan those things in your study schedule at the end of the day so that you can look forward to it. Also, it's really important to make temptations more inconvenient. For example, one of the temptations can be going on social media while you have to study. So putting your phone in another room will help you to make that thing more inconvenient because you have to go outside of your room, grab the phone. So trying to make your temptations a little bit harder will make you to not want to do them anymore and hopefully stop you to procrastinate. The next thing I want to talk about is motivation. Growing up, I used to be addicted to motivational videos. I used to watch them every single day on YouTube. And at the beginning, it motivated me to study. But afterwards, I became a little bit numb to those videos. It didn't really motivate me anymore. And I realized that I used those videos to sort of procrastinate, I think, because I became addicted to it. So I watched tons of videos and afterwards I didn't even study. So what's the point of watching those videos, you know? So growing up, I also realized that motivation isn't everything. You probably heard it as well, that you don't need motivation, you need self-discipline. A lot of people aren't motivated to do certain things, but they still do it because they're disciplined. What I realize now is that success leads to motivation and that again leads to success. So you need to start with success in order to get the motivation. And how do you gain that success? Through self-discipline. Think about a task that you finished on a certain day and afterwards you became so motivated that you finished all those other tasks. It's because you had a certain success, afterwards you became more motivated to do all those other things that led to more success. if you're succeeding, then you become motivated. It's something that I strongly believe. Of course, a lot of people start with motivation, but after a certain time, people become less motivated, and then you need self-discipline to help you to gain that success. You know why I also believe in it? Because some people have a job that they don't really like or they really hate, but they have to have the money to support their family. Those people aren't motivated to go to work, but they still do it. Because every time that the alarm goes off, they get up, get dressed and go to work. Not because they're motivated, because they're disciplined. They don't have a choice. And that's the mindset that you have to succeed. Sometimes if you want to have something, you don't have a choice and you have to do it to succeed. Do I like to study every single day? Hell no. I don't really like to study every single day. I do it because I need to. I wanted to finish this video with 5 practical tips that I can give you to stop procrastinating and to study for longer periods. The first one is find out the best time to study for you. Growing up, a lot of people and a lot of motivational videos that I watched talked about successful people who were waking up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. I was watching those videos at 3 a.m. thinking about how I'm able to sleep and then wake up 2 hours later to study or be like successful or something. I realized that waking up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. is not for everybody, and I guarantee that not every successful person wakes up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. So if you're a morning person, good for you, Susan, then wake up in the morning. But if you're not a morning person, that's okay. But if you're like me and tend to study better in the afternoon or maybe in the evening or maybe at night, then do that. Just like Gary Vaynerchuk always says, people get stuck in those little details. It doesn't matter when you study, it matters what you're doing when you're awake.
It's not about how much you sleep, it's what you do while you're awake.
It doesn't matter when you're doing certain things, it just matters if you have a certain time, what are you doing with that time? The second tip is the most important tip, so hopefully you're still watching this video. The second tip is don't sacrifice sleep because you procrastinated. That's something that I always used to do because I was procrastinating the whole day. In the evening and at night, I was overthinking everything. Also because I'm a night person, so I was overthinking everything. And for example, if I had to wake up the next day at 6 a.m., I was just thinking about how I wasted that whole day procrastinating. So instead of just letting it go and sleeping, I was like, no, I need to do the right thing and study right now. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea. So I grabbed my laptop at 2 a.m. I was still trying to study, but at the same time I was really anxious, so I couldn't really remember the things that I was studying and I wasted a lot of time. And at 4 a.m. or something, I was like, okay, I need to sleep. So I slept for, 2 hours. The next day, after school, I couldn't do anything because I was sleep deprived, I couldn't study. So I didn't even waste 1 day, I wasted 2 days. So please, if you procrastinate, that's okay. Forgive yourself, go to sleep. The next day is a brand new day and try again. If you're trying to set things right and trying to study at night while you have to wake up in a couple of hours, then you're not going to waste 1 day, you're going to waste 2 days. I think that is the most important thing that I've learned during that time. So just like my first tip, doesn't matter when you study, so if you're studying in the morning or at night, but it's still important to get your 7 till 8 hours of sleep a day. If you don't do that, then you don't give yourself the time to rest, you don't give your brain the time to rest, and the next day you're going to be sleep deprived and you're not able to study well the next day. My third tip is try the Pomodoro technique. I talked about this technique in several of my videos and you probably heard of this technique before, probably in a lot of other videos, but honestly, this technique saved my life because I used to be the person that couldn't concentrate for 30 minutes. And a lot of people told me when I was growing up, you have to study for 45 minutes or maybe an hour and then take a break. But I was not able to do it because I got distracted so easily. And I think it's probably because of social media, so thank you. But it's really important to start slow and then try to improve yourself along the way. So the Pomodoro technique is basically a technique where it's only 25 minutes or 30 minutes where you study, then you take a break for 5 minutes, and after 4 rounds you take a break for 30 minutes. I think the Pomodoro technique really helped me to better my study technique. My fourth tip is try to figure out for yourself if you study better with music or without music. And I know for a lot of people it helps to study with music, especially if you are in a noisy environment. But for me, I just couldn't do it. I was already distracted when I heard a little bit of music, so I need to study in silence. So try to find out what works for you. Do you like music? Does it help you? Then do that. If it doesn't help you, don't do it. Don't do what everyone else does because you think that's the best way to study. There is no best way to study. Try to find out what works for you. My last tip is choose your environment wisely. I know it's really hard to study at home right now for a lot of people. I found out that I don't really am able to study at home. It's not because it's like noisy at home, because we are all adults, so that's great. However, my desk is here, but my bed is right there. So it's really hard for me to concentrate at home. So I noticed for me, the best way to study is at the library. So you have to find out what works for you. Are you able to study at home? Then work at home. If you're able to study at a cafe, then study at a cafe. Or maybe it's better for you to study at the library, then study at the library. And right now, while we're in quarantine, you have to study at home. Try to have your desk organized. So those were my 5 practical tips. Hopefully you know more about procrastination and why we procrastinate as human beings. Also that motivation isn't everything, that you need to be self-disciplined. Hopefully my 5 practical tips will help you to stop procrastinating. I hope you've liked this video and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more productivity videos. And hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!